Hello everybody and welcome to my third devlog of my Tower of Terror in Unreal Engine 5 project. Yesterday we left off with this front portion of the building being completed right here, the stuff I've got highlighted. Now fortunately I was able to spend about, a good 8 hours, so a full working day on the project modeling yesterday. So I was able to complete this entire rear portion of the building, the destroyed elements, and then the sort of main tower. Now I'd like to go through a couple neat little things I did, and then we'll get into a simple lighting test so you guys can see a simple render of the tower. Now one neat problem I had was I had to figure out how to put tubular fluorescent lights through every single letter, and that posed quite a strange modeling challenge because the cylindrical object has to conform to the shape of every letter, which gets kind of complicated here with these sort of cursive letters. But I figured out a way to do it, and the effect is pretty darn convincing, especially once we get it into the game engine. You'll be able to see a demonstration of what it looks like with all lit up. Another thing I did is I paid pretty close attention to trying to make sure that the letters had correct support structure under here, these sort of whatever these are. When they closed the Tower of Terror in California, these were actually very visible because the first thing they did with the refurbishment is to actually take the sign off. So I'm putting the sign back in its rightful place. So yeah, you can all celebrate for that. Although, actually, I'm just going to make it a little bit longer. Alright, perfect. Cool, cool, cool. So for those of you guys who might not be super familiar with this process, here I've pulled up a picture of a 3D model. So this is what the model usually looks like when it's three-dimensional. It's usually a plain color. And then once we're done quote-unquote painting or texturing it, it looks like this. So we can clearly see that that is made of wood, and whatever that is underneath it, maybe it looks like fiberglass or something. So when I'm saying that, essentially we're at this stage on the left. That's what we're seeing here, is just a plain color, but when we're finished, it's going to look like this. So, the wood is going to look like wood, and the plaster is going to look like plaster, etc., etc., etc. And I'm going to do my due diligence to spend a lot of time actually like painting it one-to-one so that every little lightning and every little crack, like every crack in the plaster, is actually accurate to the real cracks on the real building. Is it going to take a lot of time? Yes, it's extremely tedious, but I'm a patient person and this is a passion project for me, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this looks the way it's supposed to. So alrighty, that's pretty much actually, before we go, I'm going to show you guys real quick another lighting test I did, and this is a nighttime lighting test, which looks pretty darn awesome. Once again, still has no color, but you can see sort of a quick test of how the sign looks when it's illuminated. See, that's why it was really important for me to actually spend the time to go through and hand model those fluorescent lights in there, because as we can see, the effect is really convincing and looks a lot like the real one. Of course, there's a couple edits I still need to make. The O in Hollywood is supposed to be not as bright. It's not supposed to be illuminated, and the W in Tower is supposed to flicker. But those are special effects I'll add in later. This is just a simple test for now. So as we can see, it's still running at a good like 40 frames per second with zero optimization. Once I optimize this, I'm estimating I'll be able to run it at least 70 or 80 frames per second. So there we have it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and if you guys are excited to see new updates soon in the future, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more.